Welcome back to Beyond the Suite, presented by the Salon Hub. I am your host, Steve Cassano, founder of the Salon Hub, and today we have Chrissy Carrozza on the podcast. She is an incredible stylist and prolific content creator on Instagram. We talk about everything from her struggles with addiction to opening her salon, and now how she operates within the salon suite environment with people that she would consider her closest friends, and what she plans on doing next with her career. This is a really incredible conversation that we loved having with Chrissy, so make sure that you listen all the way to the end and you get some really good tidbits around content creation and what it's like to work in a salon suite while also creating content full time. Without any further ado, here's our conversation with Chrissy Carrozza. We are here with Chrissy Carrozza, and Chrissy, we've been following you for a long period of time. Not only are you close to us, your shop is right south of Philadelphia in Media, PA. So you're a Delco truther, it would seem. And a lot of us have found you to be an amazing source of levity within this industry, right? I think that not only do you have a great talent and you show that off, not only are you prolific in the amount of content that you produce during the week, not only do you have an amazing relationship with your suite mates in the solo salons in which you operate, but you do it all with such great sense of humility, but also humor. And the first question I want to ask you is, where do you think that comes from? Is humor just something that's a part of you? Is it something that you strive for? Is it something that just kind of comes naturally? That's I wish I had it, so I want to know.
I don't know, actually. I just feel like, not to be like all, diving in deep like early in the conversation, but I've been through a lot of hard things in my life. So I just feel like I'm at a point in my life now where it's like, I just want to like laugh and like have a good time. Like at work, in my personal life, no matter what. Like we are just always laughing. Like it's just, there's so many serious things that are going on in life. It's like, we have to keep it light.
Right. Oh, I mean, I
So,
totally agree for sure. And, kind of diving into a little bit of your past, I kind of want to hear where you got started, right? Because you're obviously at this point in your career where it seems like you're still taking on clients, so you're still building a book and probably being very picky about that at this point in your career.
yep.
But, if you take us back, I want to know, for you specifically, why the beauty industry as a whole? Like what pulled you into the industry?
So I feel like when I was in high school, hair was just something that was like always interesting to me. And I just kind of always like thought I would like to do that, honestly, because I was always like messing up my own hair for like, all the years of high school. I had all these crazy colored hairs, and it was like fun for me. Like I have like really bad ADD, and
Mhm.
it was always something that like kept my attention. Um, when I was in high school, like literally graduated by like the skin of my teeth. And then when I went to beauty school after, I did very well because it was something that just like interested me. If
Yeah,
I'm not interested in it, it's just, I'm not gonna do well.
right.
I don't care. Like it's not anything like personal. It's just, that's just how my brain operates, unfortunately. So,
Or fortunately, right? Like you get to know right
fortunately,
away whether or not you're in or you're out, and you're going
yeah.
to know. And the other people around you are probably going to know, which again can be a blessing and a curse, I guess, depending on how you view it, for sure.
Right.
So you started in high school as like kind of being interested in it. Did you, like box color your friend's hair in high school, or is it
No, my
just
own
yours?
hair.
Just yours? Okay.
My
I was
own
wondering if this
hair.
was self-inflicted or
No, my
you
own
kind of
hair.
spread it around. All right.
Yeah, no, just my own hair, really.
That's amazing. And then so you get to beauty school. Did you go to beauty school locally
I
to
went
where you grew
to
up?
Jean Madeline in South Philly. It's like right
Okay.
off South Street.
Mhm.
And when I went to beauty school there was only like one school. I think they have like three or four now, but
Yeah.
it was definitely it was definitely like a good time.
So when you get there, right, is it more of a you get in and you're like, yeah, this is exactly where I belong? Or was it more of a, oh man, I'm not sure I'm in the right spot?
No, I really did feel like I like belonged there.
Yeah. And so as you get through that process, right? Um, what do you think kind of kept your drive going? Because obviously with some I have similar, you know, attention type of issues as you do, right? Where things need to keep my interest, I need to keep on moving to go forward. What drove you through towards the, eventual graduation of beauty school? Was it just the fact that you were interested in hair and that's what you wanted to do and that was enough? Or was it more of the aspect of all of the opportunity that you could turn it into? Or, what was your driving force?
Well, I feel like also like when I was graduating from beauty school, like the industry was not like what it is now. I feel like there wasn't, quite as like many opportunities. I feel like now it's like booming, thriving, changing. So like it was just kind of like you graduated from school, you found a job in a salon and just, you know, did hair.
Right.
It's like everything is so different now. Like the girls that are getting out of beauty school now, you're just like in the prime.
Yeah.
It's definitely been hard to like adjust to all like how different it is now at some points, but it's the best probably it's been in my entire career now.
Yeah. I mean, we see it all the time as, through the Salon Hub's lens of like all the different types of things that people are doing. The amount that you're able to niche down and still have a business and do just what you want to do and not have to offer a full menu of services like a traditional salon would and still thrive is pretty awesome. So speaking of traditional salons, so you go to beauty school right out of high school and then you're into the salons. Where's your first salon? Like, what's that experience like?
My first salon was in the Springfield Mall. It's in Delaware County.
Nice.
Um the salon that I worked at, it's closed now. I feel like the whole company is closed now.
Oh,
Um, but yeah, I went there right out of beauty school, and I feel like for for just getting out of beauty school, I was like pretty good. I didn't really get like I don't know, I didn't really not get along with. I feel like the girls in the salon didn't like me because I was 18 years old, 19 years old, like young. I had like a lot of friends. They were all coming in to get their hair done. And I was like busy. So
yeah.
like when there's like a new person that's coming out of hair school and they're coming in and they're busy, people that have been there for, 10 or 15 years, like they don't really like that. So
Like,
that's just
who's
kind of how it
this girl
was.
thinks she's hot shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like it was hard, but it took a couple years to like, really, you know, earn respect in that salon. So
Years.
a while, maybe like at
Yeah.
least 2 years before I was even like cool with people that worked there.
Wow.
So
That's yeah, that's got to be quite the struggle then. Cuz
it
I
was
mean,
hard.
obviously, yeah, part of being in a salon, right? That whole salon environment is the fact that you hope, right, that you're going to be part of a community and a group that helps each other succeed. You would imagine, right? I mean, I doubt there are obviously some salons that you hear of that are designed to kind of pit people against each other so that like they turn into like this, trial by fire kind of situation. But I would also say that more likely or more oftentimes it is more of a, hey, let's create a good work environment for everyone, right? Compared
Yeah,
to
for sure.
the other. So that's got to be a little tough. So you're in this first salon for how long? How many years?
5 years.
Whoa. So you kind of take that salon, I'm assuming, kind of takes its course with you. And towards the end of that 5 years, you're looking somewhere else. What's the
Yes.
next step? Like what's the impetus for moving? What's the next goal for you after that first salon?
So if you know me and you know my story, you know that I'm like in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
So during that time I was in that salon is like when my addiction actually started.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I did not leave that salon like on great terms, unfortunately, but you know, it's just part of the journey.
Right.
So I did not leave there on great terms. I ended up like just going somewhere and finding somewhere else to work. and like just somewhere to take my clients to, because at that time I had like a full book of clients and an addiction. So I
Yeah.
needed, to like unfortunately find somewhere to work to like make money. So
Yeah.
it was hard. I feel like my addiction started like very early in my career. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
probably the last like year I was at my first salon. So I was also like only like 21,
I was gonna say you're in your early 20s at that point,
early
right?
20s, 21, 22. So,
Yeah. What
and I
a
worked there
crazy
until I
time.
was, yeah, I worked there. I mean, it was kind of always like lingering. Like it kind of started when I was in hair school. Like
Hmm.
I would just, you know, go to the bar every night and like just drink a ton and just, dibble and dabble with different things. But like, I feel like maybe the last like 2 years of being at that salon is when my addiction kind of like really took off. So, I just kind of after that salon ended, like salon hopped here and there just to kind of like keep a job so I could like keep my house and my car and like that kind of stuff. Like that whole thing didn't like really last that long.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. I ended up just like not working for a bit after that. And like being in and out of treatment facilities. And I ended up trying to get clean a few times and it did not successfully work, obviously. And then I didn't end up getting clean and like staying clean until I was 25.
Wow.
So it was a rough like 3 years for me.
I was gonna say,
Um,
what does that look like for you? I mean, obviously you have a passion for what you do for a living, but then you're struggling with the side of addiction, which unfortunately, many people have been through before it. It's not an easy struggle, right? Like it is
I
very
feel like
much, it's a full-time job, right?
it
It,
it absolutely is a full-time job, like
it's
on
crazy,
top of my regular full-time job.
right?
I feel like this is a subject that's like not talked about enough in this industry because
Yeah.
addiction is like rapid in the beauty
Hmm.
industry. It kind of is just like goes hand in hand and like people are embarrassed, ashamed, or whatever. Like I get it. It's not something that you want to like, wear on your t-shirt and like talk about with everyone. But
Right.
however, like I do believe even though like they were like some of the worst years of my entire life, um, you know, fortunately, I was able to like not die and made it out. And like, I'm on the other side of it now, like for today. So it's definitely something like for addicts, like working in this industry, it's like a horrible job. Like cash on hand, tip money. It's just like it's easy to like progress, I guess, like working
Yeah.
in a job like this. So that was my story anyway. So yeah, I ended up getting clean like when I was 25 and I just felt like at that point, like my whole life started over again. It was like
Yeah.
wild.
So
Um,
before we get to that point,
yeah,
as you're going through, obviously, and having known, unfortunately, many other people that have struggled as well, it tends to do this oscillation, right? Where it's like, that, like, where was your trigger? And a lot of people have, or at least in my experience, a lot of people have that one moment or that's not one moment, but four different moments probably, where you're like, okay, this is it. This is the time, right? Like, I know now that I can't sustain this. This needs to change. Here's what I'm going to start doing. When you hit 25, like, what does that look like for you?
okay, so I don't think I shared this when I did my interview with you before, but I will now because it's taken me like a long time to like be comfortable with being able to like talk about this in front of people. So I got in trouble and I went to jail for a
Wow.
while.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like this is
Yeah.
I had to like make a decision.
Hmm.
And it was either keep going in and out of rehab, going in and out of jail, or get my life together and like start over. And thank God I was able to like choose and sustain the second route because I couldn't even imagine like if that was still how I was living now.
Yeah. Again, it's, well, one, thank you for sharing and trusting me enough to share it with. But obviously, not an uncommon point for people to be like, all right, this is it, right? I mean, it
Yep.
does happen. So when you kind of make that decision, right, and you're like, this is the time that's going to stick for me. Obviously, it's a very heavy burden as you go through this point, right? Not only are you trying to go through recovery, but then you're also worried about living, right? Like
Mhm.
you're so aggressively trying to live a life that you want, and then also that requires a job and support network for you. So as the support network usually is what tends to come first, but not always. For you, what does that look like, that climb up back to where you are now, right? Like, was it friends, family, just you? Was it just other people in programs that you met? Like, what does that look like?
So when I got out, I had nothing. Like, I had no driver's license, I had no car, I had literally like a pile of clothes, and I was like back living with my mom, and she was like, "I'm not helping you, like, do anything." And like, as hard as it was for her to be that like tough, it kind of made me like work that much harder to like, you know, do what I had to do. So I applied to the salon, just like a haircut only salon at that point. Um, and I was like honest. I was like, listen, I'm on probation and like I'm, just trying to get my life together. And like this woman like so graciously took a chance and like hired me. And I'm ever so grateful for her because that's always like, I mean, when you go through something like that and then you're just like, you see that question pop on the application, like, have you ever been convicted of a crime? Or, you always have an inkling to just be like, no, like, lie. But I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? Like, if I lie and she looks, I'm not going to get the job anyway. So I might as well go out, with some grace at this point. Like,
Yeah.
so I was honest. I told her the story, like the brief, you know, part of the story, and
Hmm.
she took a chance on me and she hired me, and I was there for a while. I got my license back. I got a car. I ended up like transferring to from this location that I was at to a different location, which weirdly, when I moved to that second location of this like chain I was like working for, that's where I had met Bobby. So we have known each other
Oh,
for
wow.
like 10 years at this point. So
Jeez.
it's been like wild. She's probably my one of my only friends besides like, friends I've been friends with for like a long like, longer
Yeah.
periods of life. But I have a couple of my friends that have seen me in like every walk of life. And like
Yeah.
granted, she got to skip, the bad part. She was here
Right.
for the last 10 years, which is like the good parts.
The climb. Right.
Not always the best parts, but like,
Right.
she's seen a lot. So, um,
She watched the glow up.
she did. Yeah, so we've actually worked together like a few different times. Not like next to each other like we do now, but like in the
Right.
same salons. But
That's so
so
fun.
yeah, I worked there for a couple years, and then I stayed with that company for a while, and then
What does a while
I
look like? Is that like 18
maybe like
months, two
yeah, maybe
years,
like
3 years?
maybe 3 years, and
Cool.
then I was like just so afraid to like dive back into like the hair color, scene. So I
Yeah.
ended up doing that, um, and it was definitely like a scary situation. Um, I was like in this crazy relationship, going back and forth with that, and then like making this like career change. So it was like definitely a little bit hard, but I'm glad that I made that decision. I ended up working for like another chain salon, but like that did hair color and like getting into like management and like education within their company during my stay there. And I was there for like, another like 3 years. And then ended up like leaving there to go to like a private salon, and that's me and Bobby. We also worked at that other chain salon together, different stores. And then we
Oh,
both
wow.
left that chain salon, different stores, and went to work at the same private salon. So at that salon, we worked together,
Yeah.
like for the first time in the same salon environment, which was super cool. We worked there all the way up until like COVID. And then we thought, the world's, a shit show, crazy. Let's open our own business because this is what normal people do, right? Open their own
Right.
business during the craziest time of the world.
I
So
can't even
we did
imagine.
that, and we've been at Sola now for 3.5 years.
Right.
And I don't ever see myself leaving, honestly. I could never imagine like having to work for someone else again.
Right. I mean, you have all the control at this point, right? At a time where, you know, I would say arguably is the best time for you to start having full control, right?
Right.
After years of working at it, right?
Yeah.
Of doing the whole thing. So I have a couple questions that I'm going to take us back a little bit. So when you made that transition from just hair cutting to color, you said that transition was difficult. Why was that transition so hard for you?
It was just scary because I was at a salon where we made hourly and I had
Hmm.
like my own place and like, I'm like, what if I don't like make as much? If I really told you, you'd be like, you're so ridiculous. I was literally making maybe like $10 an hour and I was so afraid to like transition to a commission based salon because I'm like, what if I don't make the same? And I just remember that first paycheck I got being like double.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, all right, this is good. So yeah.
That's, I mean, more power to you, right? Like that's the first leap, right? Well, not the first leap, but from a career perspective, right? That's the first big jump at not only from going hourly to commission, but then a different style, a different type of responsibility, right?
Right.
Expanding the way that you work. So then jumping forward then, now that you're kind of working in color and doing, I would say, a more full menu of services, if you will, right? You're expanding your repertoire. Then you're getting into those later years, COVID hits, and you want to go into your own salon. What is your mindset in this time frame, right? Like obviously it's got to be okay, I'm excited, scared,
Okay,
right?
I'm
But like
scared. I'm
with
like, it was not well. the
yeah.
whole the whole process, like, you know, I had so much anxiety. Like I will honestly say that like I haven't had always like the best experiences in every salon that I've worked in. However, like I will never say, I'm not grateful for every salon experience I've ever worked in because
Mhm.
I've learned something from every place I've been, honestly. So,
Yeah.
when I was at, the salon that was like in between, like before I came to Sola, when we went back after COVID for like a month, maybe, um, the vibes were just weird. And it was just like, I just, everybody was like, it was just not the same. And I just remember like before we even went back touring solo and like
Yeah.
looking around, like it was so early on in the process, like the rooms didn't have walls yet. And I'm like in there walking around, like trying to visualize like what this is going to look like. So then I had to come back when there was walls installed and like looked around and I'm like, crap. I'm like, am I going to do this or not?
Right.
So, it was, this has been honestly the scariest career move I have ever made
Hmm.
because this is like all on me, like all of it. It's like I'm only going to get out of my business what I put into it. And like I'm generally like a super hard worker.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was going to get a salon suite, cut my hours back, live my best life. And I do. I do live my best life, but I definitely work more, I feel like now than I ever have, which is
Right.
like my own problem.
Well, you've got so much more to do, right? I mean, it's not just providing services.
Yeah.
It's an ocean of other tasks at this point.
100%. Yeah, it's like ordering color and cleaning and towels and appointments and answering clients. It's like it never stops.
So what part for that in that transition, right? You open up your salon, you've you've toured, you made the leap. You said, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go do this thing.
I remember like pressuring Bo, like, can you please send me the contract? Because if you don't send it right now, I'm gonna change my mind for the 30th time and I'm just like not gonna do it. Like, send
Yeah.
it now. And I remember like poor Bobby was like in the process like of her in life stuff. And I'm like, she came and looked at them with me and she's like, I don't know, like I don't think that I can do it. And I was just like, I'm doing it. Like, I'm sorry, I love you. And maybe someday. And there was only one suite in media that was like adjoining,
Hmm.
like we have now left. So I was like, I love you. I'm sorry, but like, I need to do this. And then 15 minutes later, she called back and she's like, well, I'm not staying here without you. So I'm coming. And it was just like so exciting. We went to our salon. We told her we quit. We went down to Salon Centric. We bought like, $1,000 in color and product, like just something. We started in those suites, like, I mean, you've seen our suites. They're like
Hmm.
all done now, obviously, but like we started in those suites with like a box of color. And because we just needed somewhere to take our customers, like where the transition was smoother, we didn't have to like have anybody miss an appointment or so on.
Right.
So we started that at those suites with like a chair, a sink, and like a box of color, and like have built it into what it is
Not
now.
boxed color, a box of
No, a
color.
box of color. No, 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 no.
I'm just making sure. Listen,
Yeah, no.
you never know. And also, just for some context for those listening, Bo is the owner of the Sola, Philadelphia area. Um, he kind of runs that whole market. And then Bobby is Bobby Pins, of Bobby Pins fame. Which, if you've seen Chrissy and her crazy amounts of content and funny videos, Bobby is usually involved at some point. You'll find her there laughing or causing chaos.
Always.
So kind of getting back into that, right? So you leave your salon, you go straight to Salon Centric and buy some stuff, right?
Hmm.
As you start this process as in this journey on your own, what's harder than you think it was going to be, right? Because obviously, like, you got your service down probably to a good level where you're very confident in it. If you didn't, you probably wouldn't be out on your own. But
Right.
you have to do so much more now. What of the extra stuff ended up being more work or, a harder learn than you thought?
Balance.
Mhm.
Like juggling all the things. And so I'm like a bit of a workaholic.
Sure.
So, and
Takes one to
also
know one.
like, yeah, and also like social media is like a second job. So like there's that. And I remember like I just got married like a month ago and I better be on my honeymoon, like still posting on Instagram. I'm like, my spouse is like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, like I have to. Like I'm so afraid to like, let these things that I've been doing for like the last 3 years, like, slow down or stop because in this industry it's so fast paced and moving, like you really do have to like the consistency is key. So like
Right.
I feel like may not post every day, but I have like a goal for myself, like 3 times a week. You have to put something up. Like
I was
just
gonna say you are
keep your
one of
page
the
moving.
yeah, you are one of the more prolific stylists that I know of in terms of how often you post, because it is a minimum of 3 times a week. I would say you're probably closer to five a lot of the
It's so
time.
hard.
I mean, what
So
is
hard.
what is what does that process look like for you? Do you like turn it into a process, or is it just kind of brute forcing it the entire time?
I I try to like sometimes on Mondays just like make a few posts and draft them, and that way I
Hmm.
can just hit post. Like, doesn't always work out that smoothly, but yeah,
So you're at least like building them all at once, or at least trying to, and then
yeah,
that way on the day, do you have
yep.
like a
Right.
calendar reminder for yourself, or is it just part of like your
No,
morning routine, or
no, I try to do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then like one of the weekend days.
mm-hmm.
Because after you post, you also have to sit there and you have to engage. So there's the double side of social media. You
Yep,
can't just post and ghost. You have to like sit there and
it's
engage
good.
with people. So I've also been very grateful for that because I've met a lot of really cool people like that live literally on the other side of the United States, and like
Mhm.
we like talk and network, and it's cool.
I mean, I'm so glad that you said that because a lot of people don't do the engagement part, right? They
No, you
don't
have to.
understand that it's not just about the media that you post. It's about actually creating community and engaging on behalf of you and your brand and all of the things, right? So when you're doing the engagement stuff, are you just engaging with things on your feed? Are you searching for stuff? What are you doing?
Usually just things in my feed,
Hmm.
and then like if I think like, oh, I haven't seen someone's like so and so's post in a while, I'll just go check their page out,
Right. So more
and
of an
like
organic kind of engagement style than
yeah, yeah,
going through like,
usually,
here's the hashtags that I usually look at, blah, 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 right? It's more of
yeah.
like a scroll through and see what happens.
Social media is a full-time job. Like,
Oh,
it is like the algorithm is wild. It's always like something different. Like, reels are in, reels are out now. Now it's carousels, then it's pictures. Like, it's like, oh my God, can they just send out like an email and let us know what we should be doing? And then we'll do it because it's so hard to like figure it out.
yeah. Oh, I listen, there's a reason why, the Salon Hub exists, why our agency Bowtie Social exists. It's because it is a full-time job, right?
For
It's
sure.
it's a time-consuming medium to play in. Oh, and it kind of is a self-fulfilling prophecy because the more people that do it, the more effective that it is, but it also turns into more work because you have to compete with a lot of others compared
Right.
to, you know, smaller platforms.
I feel like I've gotten out of the mindset though if it's a competition with anybody. Like, now I'm in business with myself, especially like the only person I'm trying to compete with is myself. Like,
That's
oh,
probably the healthiest thing that you
now
can
that
do.
now that this is done, like what else can I achieve or what else can I do? Like, so I'm just kind
Mhm.
of like I just keep like reaching
Yeah,
because like there's always something that I feel like I cannot do. Um, and then once that's done, I'm like, okay, now what? What am I going to do now? So
so speaking of, I mean, looking at you right now, right? You have you're building an incredible following online. You obviously do amazing work in your salon. I mean, your feed is full of amazing photos
thank
of
you
your
so
work.
much.
And the ones that again aren't amazing photos of your work are you having a great time and everyone loves to see it, right? So it
Hmm.
seems like from the outside looking in, you're hitting this really amazing stride. So what's the goal right now, and what are you reaching for at this point?
So I'm just looking to like continually like build my business. Um, I am trying to like break in a little bit to like the education side of hair. I'm old now, so I don't want to be trapped behind my chair 50 hours a week when I'm 50 years old. So this is something that I'm going to
Yeah.
have to like put in the work for now in order to like, have
Hmm.
that happen in the next like that's in my 5-year plan for sure. Just really
That's
just to
great.
like work really hard. Um and like be prepared for my life. Like me and my spouse were like, like I said, we just got married. We want to like have a family and like we're house hunting. So there's like things that like all these things that we want to do in our life. So it just makes me like want to work that much harder to like have this life because like honestly, I never thought that this would ever be my life. So it's kind of like a surreal situation.
Yeah.
But it's awesome.
I mean, quick side note, loved your dress. Saw the wedding dress. It's
Thank
amazing.
you. It was
So
such a good
cool.
day.
It
It was
was
such
it
a good
looks
day.
it looks so much fun. I was creeping on your Instagram a little bit, obviously before this, and I was looking at it. I was like, yo, that dress is dope.
It was a
It was
really
so
good
cool.
day.
Oh
I was
man,
really
I'm
happy
so
that I
stoked.
did that I was like able to like be myself. Like, because anyone that knows me
Yeah.
knows I don't own a white sock. Like, so for me to like wear a white dress was just like not a thing. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, what does your mom say?" I'm like, I don't really care. Like, this is my wedding day. It's I'm gonna wear what I want to
Yeah.
wear. And it was like the second dress I saw and I fell in love and that was it.
That's amazing. I love it. That's so cool. So you're thinking about teaching. So again, some people do like the whole getting an apprentice kind of thing and having your salon still run? Do you want to do that while you're also teaching, or is it just you're just going to kind of adjust the time spent in the salon versus teaching and just kind of still be the one woman show that you are?
I'm not really sure what that looks like yet. I'm just trying to like maybe like possibly see what that would look like. I have a very full clientele, thankfully, so I won't be able to like take away too much time from behind the chair. But everybody will all adjust. It'll be fine. Like I said, this is probably something in the next like 5 years. It's definitely going to take like a lot of work. I used to educate for a company that I used to work for, and I got like a lot of good experience from that, working with like Redken and those types of brands. So like I'm just looking to like find like a brand that I would just like to add into my niche and then like go from there. So I'm still like deciding,
Yeah.
but
I
I'm
mean,
willing to like work pretty hard for it. So I'm pretty sure like everything's gonna like work out.
yeah. I mean, if anything out of this conversation, it's one of those things where I'm never going to bet against you at this point, right? I mean, you've definitely made it in a way that is you didn't take the easy route pretty much on anything that you've done so far, really.
Never.
And so I mean that comes with its own, type of education that I think, while you did mention, right, like it's not an uncommon story in this industry, unfortunately, but it is one that when you do get to this point in your career, right, you can use and lean on to learn from and teach others.
I wish people like I wish people talked about it more honestly because I feel like if people
Yeah.
talked about it more, people's lives would seriously change because there's so
Yeah.
many people that are out there like hiding and embarrassed and like like it's not an embarrassing thing. It's just something that like we have and it's
Hmm.
nothing to be embarrassed about. It's like it's just a part of who we are as people. And like the best thing that we could do is to like, stop and like heal. So like
Right.
I have in March, I'm gonna have like 13 years clean. And like,
Wow.
I still go to meetings. I still have a sponsor. I still like you do the work that I need to keep that part of my life forward because if I did not have that, like I would not have any of this. Like I
Right.
wouldn't have a healthy relationship with with my partner or my friends or my family. Like I might not even be here. So like just the gratitude that I have for like the program that saved me and like the people around me who like love and support me even when I can't do those things for myself. Like it's definitely like made me super grateful. And like I don't take anything for granted in my life. Nothing.
Yeah, absolutely. So for maybe going through that now, right? And they're like, I don't know where the first step is or what do I do? Right. I know that it's not
Mhm.
sustainable. What would you say to someone that's in that position? Obviously, it's something,
I
again, people don't want to talk about, right? So they're not asking for help probably.
right. People
And
think
they're
it's
just,
embarrassing. It's not
right.
embarrassing. It's just it is what it is.
Mhm.
My DMs are always open. So if you need someone to like talk to or just like want to be like pointed in the right direction, like even if you just want to vent about it, like talk to someone who knows. Like there's a few artists out there who I like really like love that they make it part of their platform. Um
Mhm.
and like I can always appreciate that. So
Yeah.
but we need more of that because it's not
Yeah.
like being talked about in this industry enough. And I feel like
No, I totally agree.
it could change so many lives if it just was.
Yeah.
So
I think it's also beyond the beauty industry, just in general, right? It's,
100%.
goes right along with mental health, being part of the open conversation and how it affects people.
100%.
Right. Going back to your balance endeavor, right?
Working on it. We're working on it
Yeah.
for 38
Found it.
years, here I
Yep.
am.
Hey, it's always a process, right? It's never finished. And I
Right.
think that's something that scares a lot of people too, because they're like, wow, this will never stop. So if I
Right.
start, I can't stop ever. And if I do stop, the worst happens. But at the same time, that's also, if you're owning your own business, that work doesn't stop either,
Yeah.
right? It's getting used to the being comfortable progressing and working on that next step, right?
Right.
Each day in multiple facets of life. And that's how you got to where you are today, I would assume, right? I mean, it's just taking every day by day, step by step, and then here you are, right? You're married, you have a great business, you're looking to become an educator, right? You're looking at a house, I mean, again, I've been in your salon. The vibe in there is perfect. It's fun. It's interesting. I mean, you're so open and honest with everyone that walks in your door. It's such a safe space. So you've done an incredible job. Um, for, I guess, more of someone who's looking to enter into their own salon or start their own salon, if you could go back and let's just say we're starting from day one of opening up that door, you're sliding that door sideways, right? Is there anything that you do differently that you would caution against for others now that you've done it? I mean, this is the lesson learned portion, if you will, right? What would you change, or would you not change anything?
I don't know if I would change anything. I may have done it sooner.
There you go.
I may have done it sooner. It was honestly like this has been the best decision I've ever made for myself in my career,
hmm
hands
Why do you
down.
think that is? Is it just because of the control factor, or is it what?
The control factor, the endless, like, ability for income. Like I said, like you're gonna get what you put into it, just like everything in life.
hmm
Um, and like it's just it's gonna be like a reflection of you, like your whole business. So, and I love that part of it. I love like the creative freedom to be able to have like my salon look exactly how I want it to. Like it's just it's just been an awesome experience. And like my Sola, it's weird because the people that work for Sola often tell us that like there's a lot of other Solas that are like the people like aren't friends, like they don't talk. Like we are like a family in this building. Like
Oh yeah.
when one is going through something, we all support. Like it's like we are like a family, and it still gives that like in salon vibe without being in a salon. And it's
Right.
like I feel like we're just generally happier where we work because we are all there for the common, like we're all there for ourselves for the same common goal. And it's like we don't have, a boss. We do everything how we want to do it. So it's like we're coworkers, but we're not coworkers. It's like still gives that like vibe, but it's like we're all separate. I feel
hmm
like we're all pretty like happy. So
I
which is
was
nice.
yeah. Your location. I mean,
Like we're cool though.
yeah, I've been to probably over 100 different salon suite locations in the past 3 years alone, and yours by far. You walk in and there are people like yelling at each other from across the hallway in the best way. There's like someone's chasing someone else down the hallway, and you're like, "Where are we? Like, what is happening?" And then there's
I
just
know.
laughter that you can hear from the door,
We
like as
swear
soon
that
as you
people
get in.
don't like their hair. They just really love the vibe, and that's
Yeah.
fine. We're gonna continue to provide all the things. So
Listen, you're a full service salon. You get a
we sure
haircut
are.
and you get a vibe check, right?
We
Like,
sure are. We have such a good time at work. Like it doesn't, not to sound like really corny and weird, but it doesn't feel like work. Like I'm never like, oh God, I don't feel like going there today. Like it's not like
right.
I feel like I get to go to work and hang out with my friends. Like
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
what else could you want? It's like ridiculous. It's ridiculous how good of a time, and like my clients are like the best. So I also feel like I'm hanging out with my friends in that aspect as well.
Sure.
So we have such a good time, and like my clients are all really friendly with Bobby and like,
hmm
the two other girls that we're really close with across the hall. So like, you know, it's just it's
What
really
a
cool
fun,
there.
yeah,
It's so
what
much
a fun
fun.
setup. I mean, that's goals right there for sure for everyone
We
that's
have the
going
best
into a salon
time.
suite. Yeah,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
can see it, right? I mean, you can see it even in like the random videos or the stories that you post and stuff like that. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So one last question for you, just because I'm
Yeah.
curious, right? You and Bobby got nominated for a BTC Top 100 Funniest Videos.
Yeah.
Then you went to the event, right? How
Mhm.
was that? What was that experience? Was that your first time going to the BTC Awards?
It was our third time going to the
Third time,
BCT Awards. Yeah. It was a good time. We always have fun there. It's like girls' weekend.
right?
So
I can
we
only
had a good,
imagine.
oh yeah, we have a good time. Um,
Have you been
so
nominated before?
no, this is my first time. And we were actually just talking about it over the weekend. Like we cannot wait to post. We had we had a video recently, like after the awards were over, that went super viral.
Oh yeah, I was
And
about to ask you about that.
you know, we've had people that have like copied our post word for word after that. I'm like, I don't know if that's like flattering or if I'm like annoyed by it,
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
But I'm like, make sure we post that video first because I want them to know that we had it first. It's like,
Oh yeah.
it's so crazy, but we're coming guns blazing this year for
I'm
the
s-
BTC awards. We're ready.
I'm so stoked. Yeah, that video, I was about to ask you about that. Like, what does that feel like? Because that went super viral. That's like 94,000 likes alone, I think, as of this
Yeah,
morning.
it's like 1.3 million views.
It's crazy. I mean, you realize that
Wild.
means that, like, statistically, almost everyone in the industry has seen that.
Yep,
Like, whoa.
crazy. We had that video featured on BTC's page,
I mean, love it.
which was super cool. Yeah.
Yeah. That. So,
So
what does that feel like? Did it happen overnight? Did it happen right away? Was it a slow build? Like, what was that experience like?
it still actually we still get likes and views on it now. So and
Crazy.
that was months ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like
A lot of it
18
was
weeks ago or something.
definitely yeah, a lot of it was definitely like in the very first couple weeks. But
Mhm.
it's like even if a video that you post doesn't do great like in that moment, sometimes the algorithm will just pick it up and like it gets like supercharged. It's like so wild. So um it
Did you?
it's so it's so crazy. Like you could literally do the stupidest thing ever and like it will go like, have all these views and you're just like you work so hard, you put in like all this time and effort into like a hair painting video or like whatever and it just gets like 600 views and you're just like, wow. I don't understand Instagram at all, but it's fine. I just had this video that I thought was the stupidest thing. I was just fishing in my phone for something, like some kind of content. And it was just like about like toners being too dark. And it's got like over 90,000 views on this video. And I'm literally in the sink just playing with this person's hair. It's like weird. Three
It's
seconds.
yeah.
You never know. So just post the video. Just
Yeah.
post everything because you literally have no idea. Bobby just had that happen with another video of her and her husband, and like it's got like 2.5 million views on it now. It was something that she was like, "Oh, I thought this caption sounds good," or I'm like, "Just post it. Who cares? Like, who cares? Just post it." You literally have no idea. That video that went viral that we had,
Mhm.
one take.
Really?
It was just it worked.
I mean, it was perfect. I loved it. It was amazing. I
It was
laughed
definitely
out
it
loud.
was
It was
so funny. That was actually like a true story that happened to me. So
oh my
like,
gosh. Really? So
yeah.
what we're talking about just for the audience, can you tee up what the video's about?
So there's a video on our page, and it's basically like when a client's scrolling through, inspo pictures, and they scroll one too far, and it's like you see a nude. So it's like we want all viewers to know, put that shit in a folder somewhere, and
Yeah, right.
but that happened to me, and I was just like, it was definitely like something crazy, but we laugh about it now, obviously, but
Right.
it made for some good content. So
I mean, it's so good. But then I would also caution against even the ones that get 600 views, right? Like you couldn't fit 600 people in your building.
nope.
And that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah,
You
it's
know,
just
I mean, it's not
my
1.2 million, but
our clients now,
still a lot.
they're like, oh my God, am I gonna end up on your Instagram? And I'm like, maybe, keep it up. Like, I think they're all nervous, like, oh, you're gonna make a video about me. I'm like, listen, it's funny. Who cares?
Right. They
I
should
was
be
like,
so lucky.
I'll tag you
Yeah.
in it. Like, no big deal.
There you
No,
go. Get them
they're good.
to.
They're good sports.
That's
I
awesome.
literally had a client the one time me and Bobby did make a video about it. And I was just like, I'm making a video about this. And
And
she
what
was like,
was it?
I knew it. And I'm like, because she like didn't want to get her hair cut.
Uh,
And she was like literally having a fit. So it's like this like screaming haircut video that we did. Like it
oh,
was
I know
like
exactly which one this is. Where
so
Bobby's like,
dramatic. And
ah,
I was
yeah.
like, not me sending it to my client. It's like, thanks for the inspo.
When in
We would
doubt,
never do anything to hurt anyone's feelings. And then there's these
right,
hairdressers out there that are like, stop making videos about your clients. It's like, have a sense of humor and don't be such a wet mouth. Like, it's not that serious.
right. I mean, listen, post inspiration can come from anywhere and everywhere. So just pay attention, right? I mean, that's all you're doing is just paying attention. You're like, yo, this could be good content. This could be
For
funny.
sure. For sure.
And I love that. Well,
Yep.
Chrissy, thank you so much for spending time with us this morning and sharing what you've, been brave enough to share. I know that it's not an easy thing.
My hope is that will help somebody else someday.
I applaud you for your courage and your willingness to share and be, that, inspiration, hopefully to others so they can start talking about it and healing and, maybe hopefully following in your footsteps and what you've been able to do. So before we kind of go, anything that you want to plug, anything that you want to make people aware of, just in case?
Yeah, I guess just like if you're thinking about doing it, just do it. Like, Seoul is a great place to work, and I'm happy with my decision, and I would never change it. So, if
I love it.
you are thinking about opening your own suite and the clients are there, do it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Killer. Well, thank you again. That was awesome. I had so much fun, and it was great to get to talk to you again and dive in from all the nitty-gritty stuff to the fun stuff to seeing what you're gonna hopefully do in the future here. I mean, I'm rooting for you.
Yes.
You got a lot
Stay
of people
Stay
rooting for
tuned.
you. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We'll have you back on and check in with you
I
soon
can't
enough.
wait. Thank you
Be
so
good.
much.